Approaching a new year, a new beginning, but why wait? If you're thinking about starting over with a healthier lifestyle, why not start now? That is the first phase of Tennessee's public campaign to get us all thinking about better health. Joining me now with more on this campaign and how we can all take part is Rick Johnson, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Governor's Foundation for Health and Wellness. And good to have you on the show.
Thank you, Amy. It's always good to be in the Tri-Cities.
Well, we're glad to have you here, and I know you're raising awareness for a very important campaign, something that you guys actually launched back in October.
We did. Tennessee, as we all know who live here, is just one of the greatest places in the world to live. But unfortunately, it's not one of the healthiest states. In fact, it consistently ranks in the bottom tier compared to other states. And we can do something about that. We, as the people of Tennessee, can make some changes in our behaviors that will make this, over time, a much healthier state. And that's what the Governor's Foundation is focused on, and that's what the Healthier Tennessee campaign is really all about.
And you say start now. I know there are different phases to this, but the first phase here is getting people to just take that first step.
Exactly right. Small steps lead to bigger steps, and you can begin with some incremental changes and make big differences in health outcomes over time. Tennessee's played with really high rates of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, some forms of cancer that are all caused by our behaviors. They're preventable, and we can do something about them. They're not always predicated on heredity, and they're certainly not about diseases you can catch. They're about health conditions and diseases that are brought on by behavior. So if we can get everybody to just be a little bit more active than they are now, get about a half an hour of some kind of physical activity at least 5 times a week. Go for a walk, go for a jog if you can, ride a bike, go for a swim, join an exercise class. Don't have to run a marathon, don't have to be an Ironman or woman, but get about 30 minutes a day of some kind of vigorous physical activity. That's number one. Number two, eat healthier food and eat it in the right portions. Most of us eat portions that are bigger than, actually we need.
Right.
So have a smaller piece of that coconut cake.
That's what we were saying. We were watching you make it, but we said it sounds and looks delicious, and a nice piece in moderation will be perfectly fine.
Exactly. But also eat more fruits and vegetables. Most of us need to eat more fruits and vegetables than we do. Eat leaner protein and lower fat dairy products. And that will make a big difference along with portion control. Then finally, we need to abstain from using tobacco. Tobacco creates a lot of really significant chronic health conditions and diseases. So if you're using tobacco, get help to quit. There's a lot of help out there. If you're not using it, for heaven's sakes, don't start using it.
And I know, Rick, you talked about these smaller changes, and it seems like, too, once you start seeing the effects of these smaller changes, it seems like it becomes a little bit easier because you're noticing that success.
It does. This is an area where you can immediately begin to see a difference. Now, immediate, maybe I should say, immediate for some people is a little different than others.
Sure.
We need a little patience in saying, again, take small steps and let that lead to more and more activity and more of a change in eating pattern. But we don't have to completely change our lives. If we change our day a little bit, we'll eventually change our life.
And this foundation, too, has a great website that will help us along that path.
It does. You can go to healthiertn.com and find help with being more physically active, with eating healthier, with abstaining from tobacco. Lots of good information, not only for people as individuals, but starting in January, help if you're an employer to have a worksite wellness program, and then coming soon after that, help with creating wellness programs in faith communities.
Oh, wonderful. Well, a lot of information there, a great website, as he mentioned. There it is. You can check that out coming up after the show. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Amy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you. All right, we're going to take a break. We're back with more of Daytime Tri-Cities right after this.